Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. Words of Leonardo da Vinci. Welcome to another time out on the Art Express. My name is Tolulokwe Lamidi. Your host.
Silipa is the story of a young woman who was 17 and gifted to her father's friend who was 73. And yeah, so it's just paintings of her journey and her life. The driving force is that if I don't do the work, I'll go crazy. If I'm not able to express what's going on in my head, I fall into a depression. For this particular show, I guess it was more, the color wasn't what was important for me. It was the features and the expressions and the actual face of my model, you know, and not necessarily colors that at certain times can be a distraction. So at this point in time, I really wanted to make people just focus on the expressions that the face gives off, whether in its joy, in a smile, in a frown, tearful, you know, and then the paints on the face sort of help accentuate exaggerate the expressions on the face. The works behind me, they're called My Precious. And they're called My Precious for a reason. If you look closely, you have like precious stones embedded with the sculptures, and it's a message to us about how, you know, how you mine for precious stones, the labor and the effort we go through to finding precious stones. If we go through all of that and we found human beings, will we call them precious? You know, do we value people as much as we value stones? So these sculptures are a form of that question, that if you're going and looking for something that is priceless, if you find a human being instead of a material, instead of a stone literally, would you treat them as you would precious stones? Yeah? So let's reconsider the way we treat ourselves.
This exhibition interrogates the dynamics of representation and identity of women in Nigeria today through a female perspective, examining the intersections of cultural history, gender stereotypes, and social norms. Incorporating painting, sculpture, and mixed media, these artists deconstruct conventional perceptions of women while advocating for inclusivity, nuance, and activism.
We champion female artists. That's, you know, one of Co's, we treasure females, and it's very rare and difficult to find female artists, and especially the mid-career artists. So we've really gone towards that rather than the young, because that sort of era has been kind of left behind, and people are going for the young, and we just want to show what amazing talent there is in all these four formidable women. Of course, peju alatise has not been left anywhere, and we were so excited that she's doing a book launch, and she, you know, brought a body of works from Glasgow where she works, as well as she's done some sculptures over here in Nigeria, which we hope to keep over here. But beautiful works, and the sculptures are all about, they're called jewels, and so inside, if you look inside the sculpture, there are these women, and there are all these jewels around them, like semi-precious stones. And what she's trying to say is, if we invested that kind of time in our women, in our people, how beautiful this life would be, rather than, you know, valuing, as if we valued our women, our families as much as the jewels. What a wonderful place it would be to live in. So that was a beautiful story about Jewel. And her paintings are about Silafa, who's a girl who's been enslaved, come to Nigeria, working for a family, and really her story. And she's written a book on it, so that's there for everyone to read. We have curator Wednesday Pierce, who's incredible, came from Delta University, has, again, shows women. The painting behind us is about 10 virgins. The ones in front of us is a lot you can see about hairstyles and just showing how regal and how formidable Nigerian women are.
I know a couple of the artists very well, somebody like Peju Alatise. Over the years, I've watched her grow, just constantly just keep evolving. Washe is somebody I've also known for years, consistent, with her work. Sukari Douglas Kemp is somebody I've been looking at her work in catalogs, reading about her. She's so international, you understand. And they're coming here. What can I say? In terms of aesthetics, the works are so beautiful to look at. Then you now need to settle down and start to dive deeper into the meaning of each presentation. You understand? Then that is what you need calmness to do. It's difficult to do that with all my friends around. But if you want to ask me, I think the space is wonderful. I think the collection of artists is epic, completely gigantic. These are powerful women, and we need to settle down and absorb the work and interact with it.
This work, you will see that there are 3 females in it. Despite their skin color, you can still tell that they're Africans. That's because I wanted to create female Africans who looked beautiful despite the color of their skin. And so it was an interrogation into colorism and racism. And then the portrayal of African women in media, at least mainstream media, as poor, helpless, having big problems, needing help and needing charity. And living in Africa, I know that is not true. And so I purposefully created them to look beautiful, in bright, fine colors, and that they come in all kinds of color. And so that was the thinking behind this. It was a group of works. And purposefully, in order to make them really authentically African, I needed to fix their hairdos using traditional African styles, to portray them, and with elaborate earrings. For our own traditional African heaven, I created the female masquerade, so that if not I, maybe some generation behind me can be inspired by their folk or their kind in such a heaven.
Art Assembly, the June edition of Small and Iconic Miniature Art Exhibition, takes on a multi-generational and multidiscipline approach, a fusion of artworks created in diverse media, making use of discarded items that live amongst us. Let's take a look.
There's so much storytelling in the art. There's so much as a burst of colors that truly reflects Africans and the way we are in our culture and our way of life. And I think, you know, comparable to any other artists from Europe or from North America or from Asia, African artists they're way up there, right? The subject matters that are covered, the mediums, everything that goes into creating an art is truly global standards today.
These salons are curated to spark memorable and inspiring conversations within the African art collecting community through bite-sized artworks. It is also an opportunity for the collecting community to get together and rub minds over a weekend of contemporary African art. The name, small and iconic, is quite fitting as it buttresses the nature of the artworks. They may be small in size, but certainly not small in importance nor value. The artworks displayed will always be iconic, representing various styles, techniques and subject matter of the exhibiting artists, thus ensuring that they are collectibles of significant value.
Ife Art School presents so far an annual exhibition by students of the Department of Fine and Applied Arts tagged The Experience. Let's enjoy.
Welcome to the Heartbeats of Creativity, the annual exhibition known as So Far. It's the crack of dawn, the sun barely peeking over the horizon, and there we are, my fellow artists, braving the morning rush to catch the buses, eager to embrace the challenges of another day. It's a struggle, no doubt, but it's our daily pilgrimage towards greatness. We have specialized, we've pushed boundaries.
I was part of the people that organized so far during my set, and coming to this exhibition to see how the students have hung their work and staged their artworks over the course of 4 years. Of course, I could say that they've really done so much work, and have a lot to put up for the show. It's really a great thing, and the works are really awesome. So far over the year, I've always involved, and different studios come up with a lot of concepts to let people know that, oh, this particular one is distinct from the previous one. So a lot of people have come up with that concept. So far has been something that the final students of Obafemi Awolowo have done over the years, and it's a critical thing for the department. The work has really shown the experience, and of course every student have come up with a lot of tag from the idea to immaterial, and of course the work actually truly show the experience of the student, and that is what makes it distinct.
That this is a springboard. So far it's usually a springboard for artists. So you can't stop there. This is just the starting point. You have to just go You have to keep working. You have to not be discouraged. There's going to be some ups and downs, people rejecting you. You have to hold those rejections and turn them up to be great works in the future. Just keep pushing.
Well, as a former lecturer, I think the SOFA started way back. It's like a combination of all the students have been doing right from their year 1 to their final year, and all the experiences that they have gathered within this process. And so it's looking at their works, you will see that experience right from when they started, as students here, and where they are right now. Going through the exhibition hall today, and I noticed that there's a bit of a change in the practice. I think students are embracing technology now, and they are beginning to integrate technology into their work and enhance their production with new techniques and ideas. And I think it's a good thing.
My name is Afrika Ajimiri Ama-Echefu. I'm a cultural activist, as well Pan-African artist that project Africa through the influence of our ancestors, who were indisputably the roots of universe. It was from Africa that other races came. You are the first mother that gave birth to the whole race of the world. Can you believe that? A pity that white people came here just a few years ago and took our brothers and sisters to their places in order to project their economic development. And since then, it looks as if Africa has fallen apart. But let me tell you, even if that happened, the blood will not be wiped away, because that's the history. It's in our blood. So, talking about how do we project Africa, it's like talking about how do we eat. This is something we have to be doing every now and then. A typical Russian man, a typical Indian man, who were also, people like that were also colonized and enslaved. Still, they are projecting their cultural heritage. What happened was, they didn't allow their culture to be abused. Rather, they took their engineering aspect, technological aspect, and develop it under their context. I'm talking about those who were enslaved, like us, who were colonized, like as they did to us. They didn't wipe away their culture. But today, ordinarily, I want to wear this. People, Babalawo, I see Babalawo is a bad thing. You know what I mean? So the best thing for us to do is to every day we put it into our national institution to make sure that our culture must surely be. Because without their culture, it can't be in existence. They can't even know God. Like I said, those who do not know their culture do not only sell their birthright, but they do not know God.
We've come to the end of yet another interesting episode of the Art Express. But before I leave, let me quickly drop this little word of advice. Now, don't stop making art. Don't you stop, okay? Just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they are deciding, just make art. Keep making art, okay? Till we come your way again, same time, same station next week. I am Tolokwe Lamide, signing out.